Shinonuma moved my worn, limp body onto the tatami mat flooring and carefully sat me up. I regained consciousness right away, and I was immediately met with the worried gaze of Kishinuma, Mochida, and Nakashima. Thank goodness you're safe. Nakashima wiped tears from her eyes. You guys. I was so relieved, so very relieved to see my friends. He started crying as well. Shinozaki, what the hell did you think you were doing coming here by yourself? I had to. I just had to. Why? I mean, Nani? Hey, Cosmo. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. I have no idea what the views are currently at because, I think they're kind of freaking out a wee bit because I've had about 4 or 5 of you guys drop in and it still says there's 2 views. It's just, I don't know what it is anymore. Not that I care. I do this for fun. The point still remains that I wish Twitch would fix itself. Anyway. Point is, appreciate it. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Nani? Kishinuma. Satoshi? Let's leave this to Yoshiki. I was the cause of this. Cause? Of what? Everything's my fault. All our friends were gone because of me. Even Sis, even she's gone. I was sobbing like a baby. My face must have been a mess. And my voice came out hoarse in short bursts. How is this your fault? It was my idea to do Sachiko Ever After. I'm the one who brought it to school and had everyone stay to participate. That was the start of it all. It's my fault. How can you possibly take sole responsibility for that? Hey, we're a team. Shinozaki, you know that, right? I sheepishly nodded my head and looked down. I didn't want to meet his gaze. Well, if you know that, then don't forget it. Stop taking everything on yourself. Let me put it's not moving fast enough for me to keep up with you sometimes. Let me put it to you real simple. When you ever think for a second, not even 1 second, that this is all your fault, Kishinuma, you're not to blame, okay? So stop blaming yourself, damn it. Kishinuma-kun. Everybody else here feels the same way too, right? Yeah, Yoshiki's right. He's exactly right. You shouldn't always try to take everything on by yourself. I didn't want you guys to get dragged into this. Tried to do it myself so you wouldn't have to, but I was scared. I just couldn't do anything. God, you're so dense. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. You did good. Just don't do it again. Not without us. I'm dense? That's mean. No, that's not exactly what I meant. Thank you. I didn't entirely believe them. It was a fact that this whole mess started when I led everyone to Sachiko Ever After ritual. I appreciated their words nonetheless. We're the ones who made it out. We have no choice but to come to terms with what happened. Part of us now. We don't have to accept it though. Yeah. We can still fight this. We can try to set things right. Even if only by the slimmest of margins. Sniffle, sniffle. It's fair to say that we all feel the same way you do. That's right. You claim you couldn't do anything, however, I'm not quite convinced that's true. I didn't recognise the voice though. It was a little perturbed. I don't know. Can't say that one. Perturbed. No one else seemed to be startled by it. It belonged to a girl I'd never seen before, wearing an unusual outfit. You must be Ayumi Shinozaki. Glad to see no harm has befallen you. Who are you?
Shinozaki.
Shinozaki. This is the person who tipped us off about where you were headed and led us here. Her name's Aiko Niwa. Sorry to be presumptuous. I'm sorry to be so presumptuous. I took the liberty of looking into you. I'm what you might call an intelligence agent, I suppose, regarding matters of the supernatural. As the little sister of Hinoe Shinozaki, I suppose the quickest way to explain would be to say that I'm a friend of Nino, a friend of Naho Sainako, friend of Naho's, and you know sis too? Yes, Mr. Hinoe had quite a name for herself in this plane. Ayumi, the right hand, are you not able to open it? My right hand had been clasped shut this whole time. I'd almost forgotten about it. Tried to open again, but still couldn't. No, I can't. Ah, let me see. Ishinuma grabbed my hand and tried to pry my fingers open. Ow, that hurts. There's no point in forcing it. It should open naturally when the time is right. You just need to be patient. Oh, and what's this now? I attempted to open the box for just a moment. Our efforts proved to be in vain, just as mine were. This is rather intriguing. Like your hand, it simply refused to show us what it contains. How fascinating. Aiko was mesmerised by an opening box. She seemed desperate to understand what force kept it sealed. Almost giddy at the unspoken prospects of what could be. What they could mean. Such spiritual energy. This is wonderful. Can I hold on to this, if only for tonight? I believe I might be able to open it once I've returned home. Okay. I had the feeling that this was less a request than it was a statement. You would never have taken no for an answer. Well, it's getting late tonight. Let's talk more tomorrow, shall we? I'll come meet you after school. That night, after I returned home, I stood in front of my mirror and just kept trying to open my right hand. I put every bit of strength and energy I had into it. Ah, my fingers. It opened. What I found inside my heretofore closed were teeth? Human teeth from the looks of it. Very small baby teeth, 2 of them. The roots of each were embedded deep within my palm, and I was bleeding quite a bit as a result. Why? Why are there baby teeth in my palm? End of chapter 0. To be continued. EVP entries of Hinoe Shinozaki have been locked. New Encyclopedia Obscura entries have been unlocked. WI Kirasagi Academy Grimoire. Would you like to save the system data? Yes. Chapter 0. 8. Oh, this is... Lots of pages. What the? Ah, that's the opening. EVP machine. Oh, that is a big list of things.
Ayumi-chan, 生きるのよ。
The hell is this?
いつもあなたの心の中にいますよ。
Keep scrolling, see if we get any more. Sound like a spirit message from our sister. I don't know. Two of them.
あゆみちゃん、生きるのよ。お姉ちゃんはいつもあなたの心の中にいますよ。
Won't let me add to them.
あゆみちゃん、あゆみちゃん。
How very odd. Soulful testimony. Not unlocked any of them. Encyclopedia Obscura. That's just information. Cursed photograph. Okay, let's put them all across. Ah, it's music. Okay, that's kind of cool. Right. Took us an hour and a half to do chapter 1. Oh, chapter 0. That just takes me back there. So I'm gonna have to go for a new chapter. It's chapter 1. Right, I'm gonna quickly grab a wee munch of something and I will be right back, guys. Right, bye guys. Let's see if we can finish chapter 1 as well. Blood Drive chapter 1 returning. A day had passed since the events of Shinomura Janku South Apartments. This was to be a significant turning point for me, and Mochida might have been part of it from the start. Except that fate seemed... Do you have other plans for him? Miss Cohen, I have something pressing I need to get to. So if you'll excuse me. No, you sit back down, Satoshi. The score on the algebra quiz yesterday was rather embarrassing. Don't you think? Like an owner training a puppy, Kyoan gave him a strong glare and held up her index finger in reprimand. For the next hour, I'm going to give you a personal lecture. And you're going to listen, and then the next quiz will be a snap to pass. But aren't you an English teacher? Isn't algebra a little outside your fields of expertise? Anything's possible if you put your mind to it. Seemed a little taken back by that remark, puffing up her cheeks like a chipmunk in protest. But Miss Kuon, it's startling how alike she and Miss Yui are. I'm sorry. Looking both bemused and guilty, Mochida tried to get up and leave his seat one swift motion. But he was quickly and easily caught, lifted up, and forcefully sat back down. Ugh.
ダメ
Maskuan was smiling. She was actually enjoying
なん
this.
だこの先生
Who or what am I dealing with here? Maskuan was only the slightest bit taller than Mochida. This did make her taller than the average, but her arms were small and frail and seemed to be no way she could possibly have lifted someone of his build. This whole situation was rather bewildering for him, and he made no attempt to hide his confusion.
始めるよ
Now, let's begin, shall we? Yes, ma'am. He had no other option. Apparently, he was going to be studying algebra for the next hour, from hell or high water. Meanwhile, in the Cave of Justice, at a local cafe near the school, Kishinuma and I were sitting down to speak about Aiko and Iwa, the informant who'd led my friends to me the previous night.
大丈夫お腹でも
You alright? Does your stomach hurt? I responded with a dismissive gesture, while continuing to rub my abdomen with my other hand. Ever since the previous night, I'd this constant, unbearable urge to pee. What the hell is wrong with me? I mean, I know I got really scared and hyperventilated, but can that affect my body like this? Did it change something in me? My bladder feels like it's about to burst.
何から話そうかしら
So, where shall we begin? Aiko tilted her head and stared at me, looking me up and down, seemingly judging me in every mannerism, my every movement. It was making me feel very self-conscious. I covered my abdomen with both hands as if guarding it from her gaze. Thank you very much for your help yesterday.
ありがとうございましたいいえ大し
Think
た
nothing of it. I only regret that your friends couldn't get to you sooner. Kisaragi Academy is quite large. It took some time to track down Kishinuma and the others. Kishinuma and I stared at one another, still unsure how to feel about the strange new addition to our entourage.
あゆみちゃん岸沼くん
Ayumi,
あ
Kishinuma,
なたたちって
you two are survivors from Heavenly Host Elementary, are you not? We'd pledged never to discuss Heavenly Host with anyone else, which we'd always assumed would be an easy promise to keep. But now, casually out of the blue, here we are.
なんであんた
Why?
そのこと
How do you know about
あ
that?
なたたち
Well,
死後の世界に
You've been
接して
touched
きた
by
で
the
しょ
ever after.
通常
When people
人
come
間
into
には身に
contact
つかない
with
オ
the
ーラの
beyond,
色をしている
the
わ
colour of the auras
私には
changed
見
to
える
something otherworldly, something I can see. Both Kishinuma and I were speechless. I just sat there staring at my palm, subconsciously trying to see my aura, I guess. Aiko was smiling at us triumphantly.
あの
You said
ア
you
イコさ
were
んは霊能関係
intelligence
の
agent,
情
was
報
it?
屋で
For the supernatural?
ナホさんのお
And
友
you're a
達なんで
friend
すよ
of Naho's?
ええナホちゃん
That's correct.
天神小
I'm
学
the
校
one
の
who tipped her
情
off
報を
about
提供
Heavenly
したのは
Host, the elementary.
私
The true source of the deaths and subsequent erasures that had turned our lives into a living nightmare was the Sachiko Ever After ritual posted in Naho's occult blog. I'd been a fan of Naho's quite some time, so when I saw that, I knew I had to try it out with my friends from class 2-9. As a result, half of those friends are now gone.
ナホちゃんがキビキ先生のために霊能探偵をやっていたことは知っているわよね
I suppose you're aware that Naho was involved in supernatural investigations on behalf of one Mr. Kibiki, no?
はい
I am. I know she
幸せ
hasn't
の
been
幸子さんの
seen
情報が
since
掲載
posting
されてから
information on Sachiko Ever After.
私はね心霊スポ
Well,
ットや
my
霊能
business is of
関係の
similar
情報を
nature.
集めて
I gather data
それを
from
欲しがる
spiritual
人に
hotspots
有
and other
償で提
supernatural
供してきた
locales and sell that data to my clients for a fair
報
profit.
酬はお金
Not always
も
money,
しく
mind
は
you.
私の
Sometimes 'll
興
do
味
my
をそ
dirty
そる
work
霊
in
具の
exchange for a
旅
particular
何
spirit
かによっ
item.
てふっかけ
that
方
pierce
が
my
変える
interest.
けれど
It all depends on who I'm dealing with.
ギブアンドテイ
It's
クよ
entirely
ね
give and take.
向こうは
They
情報
want my
が
information
欲しい
and I want their cash
私は
or
お
their
金と
artifacts.
霊具が欲しい
Physically, Aiko was a very attractive young lady, but personality-wise, the jury was still out. Her words were calculated and emotionless. Her true intentions a mystery.
だから私は情報屋をやっているの
One could call me an
ナホちゃんもいいお
information
客
dealer,
さんだったわ
but I prefer an intelligence
僕
agent,
が最後に
and
買った
Naho
の
was a
が
good customer.
天神小学校
My
の
info and
情
Heavenly
報
Host provided her to be our last purchase,
ナ
however.
ホちゃん
At the time, Naho was single-mindedly excited about Mr. Kibiki's work. He believed he could qualify for some award with the information I found for her. Say, could you tell me? Was Naho there? In the other world you found yourself trapped in? Naho died together with Mr. Kibiki. I looked down as I answered. Despite everything she'd done, the memory of Naho's passing was still painful for me. She'd become one of heavenly hosts, lost souls, and gone completely berserk. In the end, I was the one who finished her off. I see. I assumed as much. Aiko seemed completely unaffected by this revelation. Her tone remained even, and her expression cold and distant. Honestly, I'd had about enough of her by this point. She was so devoid of empathy it was almost offensive. I was genuinely starting to get pissed off. And you're okay with that? I do feel sorry for her, don't get me wrong. I had a strong feeling things would end this way. There's no point laminating that for which I was fully prepared. Kishinuma continued to stare intently at Aiko, his own brand of cold, emotionless eyes. He was oddly quiet though. His anger was palpable. I clenched my fist. What about this girl? I believe she performed the ritual alongside Naho. Did you see her there as well? Aiko showed us a photo of a girl named Sayako Oe. No, can't say I've ever met her. Ah, see? Aiko's expression was so unflattering you could carve it in stone. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to say something. If you're calling Naho your customer, I don't think you can really say you were her friend. My voice was breaking with rage, but even if that hadn't been the case, my face must have read like a book. This icy bitch may have had only one expression, but I sure didn't. Oh my! You have something against that word? When I deal with my customers, I give them a guarantee of the utmost quality and dedicate myself to their satisfaction. An unbreakable bond of trust, like one would have for a partner. That's not always something you can say about friendship now, is it? I had no idea what to say. Seemed like Aiko was used to this sort of a thing. Her response felt carefully rehearsed, like a sales pitch. Finally, Kishinuma broke the silence. Hey, I do want to thank you for helping us save Shinozaki yesterday, really, but spreading dangerous information just to pay the bills? How the hell can you sleep at night? Information is just that. Information is harmless on its own. There's no good or bad, it's like a tool. Up to the recipient of how it's used. Anything can be harmful in the wrong hands, after all. Why, that cup over there could be used to kill a man just as easily as any knife. The hell it could, that's bullshit and you know it. Ayumi? You agree? Aiko, I'm sorry. I hate the way you think. I feel it's irresponsible. Her expression remained calm and collected overall, but her eyes blinked several times in rapid succession. It was the first outward sign of emotion we'd seen from her. Well now, it seems I've come to be regarded as something of a villain here. I can't say this new or unexpected, but it never ceases to be disheartening. Aiko quickly shoved off her sudden outburst and was back to her usual icy self. It doesn't matter now. Anyway, we destroyed Heavenly Host, it's gone. An awkward tension filled the room, or at least our table. Let's get down to business then. There's a reason I sought you out, something I wanted to discuss with you. Aiko produced a thick, hardbound file folder from a light blue bag she brought with her. She opened it to reveal several documents of a questionable nature. Among them were what looked to be a family tree, as well as numerous pages featuring black magic symbology or images that looked like tree branches. Black magic spell charts? And this is Shinozaki family tree? You may find what I'm about to tell you a bit shocking. Aiko was looking directly into my eyes now. Her gaze was fixed, intense, and unblinking. What Kishima said a moment ago is incorrect. Huh? What do you mean? Heavenly Host Elementary has not been destroyed. It still exists, even now. Take a look at this.